Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special video showcase we're going to be looking at the Grandstand, you can't even read it up there, Converters Omegatron figures. So with this special video what we're going to be doing, or what I intend to be doing, is getting this original figure here. We're going to be unboxing him, we're going to be having a look at all the parts and the components. I'm going to build up both modes for you on the video, and of course we're going to finish up with him being in robot mode and then do some comparisons with, of course, the Generation 1 Omega Supreme, which I'm sure you can tell that this figure is, I'm not going to say based on, but it basically is in a completely different colour scheme. And this is probably the main reason what we're looking at here, UK viewers and people in America who didn't know why we never got Omega Supreme in the UK. So you can't see, I'm just going to quickly tilt that back. You can see at the top there it does say Grandstand. Now that is the company that made this, had license for this via Toy Box, and released this in the UK in 1985, which obviously completely would have scuppered any chance for Hasbro to release Omega Supreme at the same time. So yeah, we didn't get Omega Supreme at all. We got this guy. Japan as well got this guy. That's why there wasn't a Japanese G1 Omega Supreme as well. They pretty much had the same coloured box. They had everything just in a different language. And there is actually another one as well with some bits of chrome on, which unfortunately I don't have, but I'm going to do my very best over the next few years to try and hunt it down. Now the interesting thing with this box is, I'm not going to read all that. What I might do in a second is I might just scroll down it so you can have a look and have a read of it yourself, because it's got a completely different story. Now the reason why I'm spinning it around to the back is to show you that this isn't actually missing the back of the box. This is how they were packaged in Japan, and indeed obviously in the UK and pretty much everywhere else they were released. It didn't have the back of the box at all. Now the bit which you can see there, which is actually like a handle, is covering up over half of the box. Now I'm going to attempt to try and take this front cover off and then stand it back up without everything falling out. I do also want to sort of, I suppose, mini disclaimer right now that unfortunately this isn't complete. It does not have all of the clips, but I do believe that I should be able to still make all of the modes. Granted, they won't be able to be fixed together, but I should still be able to complete all of the molds. Right, I'm going to try and stand this up for you just to show you how it would be packed, and then of course I'm going to decant it all, take them all out, and then we're going to have a look at actually building it up as well. So if I can stand that there, there's the clips. So as I say, this is how it was packaged. We've got the instructions here as well. And it's funny, as I say, that obviously we've got Omega and Tron, so we've still got sort of, I suppose, references to Transformers without them even saying it. The interesting thing with this is, look, you've got power wing variations, so you've got different ways that you can, of course, display him in all of these. That's, do you know what, I've never seen that before. That's really interesting. And then I suppose I might as well check if I've got the same batteries, because the thing is with these, sometimes they use some really old batteries. If I've got them, I'm going to have a look at seeing if I can indeed build him up. So there's your how to assembly. There is some more details I need to convert into the Space Center. This is a completely English book. As I say, what I'm going to do now then, guys, is take all of these bits out of here, and we're going to try and build up the base station first. So you can probably pretty much tell, but I've took all the pieces out of the box, and this is what we've got. So if ever you've heard of a parts former before, this is definitely going to be one of them. But it's still really quite interesting because, again, this is first and foremost is my first experience of this figure, and I'm picking up little things like this. And I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but MB1, isn't that Megatron's name in the first live action movie? I mean, obviously that's a complete coincidence because this figure came out 22 years beforehand. So it's just a complete coincidence. As I say, it is an Omega Supreme use of the mold, and I definitely don't have all the clips, but I can still build everything up. So what I want to do is give you guys an idea of how we build it up. And the irony of ironies is the fact that the clips that we're missing aren't going to make much difference, because we've still got the large clips, which are these, which funnily enough double up as ramps in this particular mode. With the little clips in this particular mode, they're mainly being used to fix underneath and to hold things together, which we can get away with, to be honest. So we've got 4 bits of these. These are going to make the legs, but you can also see how they're going to make the track. This will slot together as simple as that. Then we've also got 4 of these, and this is going to connect like so. It's just going to clip into position, and you can see this is where the track is now building. Now I'm probably going to do some of it on camera and some of it off, purely because you just can't see it, and I can't film myself picking it up and indeed attaching it all. Although saying that, I'm probably going to have a go, to be honest. Then of course you've got what would be classed as the wings, and once again it's just like a great big sort of jigsaw. It will just all slot together like so. So what I'll do is I'll just start the track like that, and then I'll show you the other parts, which again are quite interesting. So what you've got is you've got the feet. You would turn, these are what, as I say, where you'd attach the ramp to. So if you just bear with me a second, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift this up just a little bit so the track's out of the way, and in fact I'm going to turn this the wrong way. This would be, it would be set up like that, but for obviously the video's purpose you're not going to be able to see that. They would, I'm going to turn them this way, and then what you would do is you would take this particular part, which of course is going to double up coming over the shoulders, but also is what's going to hold the rocket or place the rocket by it. You've got a tab there which you're going to put into the one foot, and a tab there which you're going to put into the other like so. As I said, we've got the 2 red ramps, which is brilliant, and you've got the 2 hooks there. These will fit into these slots here like so, and just pretty much rest there. So I can turn that around. To be honest, I can have a go at continuing to build the track. If you can sort of see things, the rocket will indeed clip together like this, he says. Now I've not done this obviously with this, and we can open up these. There we go. There's the rocket waiting inside the launch pad there. I'm going to just put a few more bits of track together. Hopefully you can perhaps see this in a second when I come around. It really is just exactly that. It's like a big jigsaw. This is going to slot on top of there. You're not going to be able to see it, don't worry. I'm going to do the rest of that in a second. What I'm going to show you though is the tank. This looks in great condition. I'm going to start the batteries up on this in the next part of the video, just because I'm being dead honest. I'm always honest in my videos. It's really late and my kids are in bed, and this figure, the Omega Supreme, makes an absolute racket. So I'm going to wait until it's daytime to do that. But for the carrying on in this particular video, there's the logo. Look, there's the stamp, Toy Box, made in Japan. Toy Box Corp. The battery compartment looks really good, so I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm going to carry on, as I say, with this part of the video. I'm going to build him up as well, and then if it does work, I'll take it back and put an extra bit at the end. But the cannons here, you can pull these. Oh no, are they all the way out? Oh no, that's for the robot mode. I don't want to do that actually, but look how good a condition it does look in. What I'm going to do very quickly then, guys, is just finish off the track, and then I'm going to pick it up and show you it. So there we go. You can see I've fully built it up, and again, these are just the wings that are on the back. These just all attached together. All these clip together as well, which fit really neatly, and the huge red clips do form the ramps. Now, as I said, the smaller clips would just be used to just secure the track together underneath. So this is good news for you guys. If you're after one of these and you see one, even in a Omega Supreme, and it doesn't have the small clips and you want to display, it's not too bad. You're going to be able to get away with it. With regards to some size comparisons, I'm going to bring in a G1 Optimus Prime. I'm going to bring in a whole host of different things here. That's a Legacy Deluxe drag strip, which of course is huge. There is a G1 Bumblebee. I've just popped him up. There is a Strong Arm from Legacy. So we've got a complete mix and mash here of loads of different figures from different toy lines, different sizes. There is a New Age Optimus. That's a Titans Return Brainstorm. So it's about a deluxe size figure. Still that same size. There's Magic Square. I think you'll agree though, with these particular base sort of set out figures, that the only things that really work with these, and funnily enough, I did say this in the newer versions. I mean, there's a couple of New Age versions of this that's been released. There was of course the Titan, officially released by Takara as well, which is great. But I think the only thing that works with these figures is, if you're lucky enough to still have them because they came out in 2003, is the original Takara World's Smallest Transformers, which are these, or indeed some other Doctor Wu figures that would fit with it, or some other tiny Legend scale figures, because the base modes, you do really need these tiny figures, to be honest, which you can see right there. But I think that's pretty much it for this particular base mode. I'm going to grab the eHobby Blue version of this, and of course the original G1 next, and then we're going to build him up into robot mode as well. So we're going to come back, he's going to be back in pieces, and then we're going to build him up to robot. Okay then, so what I've done now then, apart from, you can just about make out, I've took him all back to his individual pieces again. I've got the other two uses and colour schemes of this mould that I've got, so we can do some direct comparisons. And to be honest, it'll probably help me build it up as well, because it's quite tricky, to be honest. What we're going to do then, we're going to take the only part that really does transform. This of course was the tank in the battle station mode, and this is just really clever. As I say, I am going to try the batteries in another part of the video. What we're going to do, we're going to slide the tracks out like so. These will come down like that, and then we're going to very carefully, now I don't even think this has been done before, it must have been done by a previous owner, but this is scaring me. Yeah, that's going to straighten up. We're going to slot this there, which is perfect. Then we're going to go like that. These are going to be the arms. Slot these out, and of course we can correct the orientation a little bit, so it's going to be a bit of a bicep. So we're going to bring this out like so. You'll have to excuse how slow I'm doing this. I don't even know if this has ever been done before. It must have been. It looks like it's been used. But anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to attach everything to this. You can probably tell that is the main torso straight off. Right, so what we're looking at here on the inside of these tracks, we've got these, and this should, that's the wrong way around, these should line up. So everything's again like a bit of a jigsaw. You've got to line everything up. So that's going to go there. And indeed, this is now going to attach over the top. So the good thing about this part is you don't need the clips. That clips in itself, it clips over and it's going to hold it in position. Now you can also see we can slot these into what is the boot, and this too as well carefully should slot into position like so. Right, so the good thing is, even though we haven't got many clips, you don't need them for these. That is held together via these clips, and it's going to be covered up, as you're going to see in a second. What we've got now is the outer case, which is this. You've got a tab there. This has got to go into that red tab there, and this is going to come around the outside. And once again, you've got all the holes and all the dowels that are going to line up. That's going to line up there as well. And is it going to go underneath there? Just about. I think it's just come out this side. I need to check that it's in there. See, that's come out. That's the mistake I made in one of my other videos. So I need to lift it up ever so slightly. Lift this up. Maybe that's it. Because if it doesn't clip in here, it doesn't help the walking. And that's, as I say, where I confess that I made a bit of a boo-boo in one of the other videos with one of these molds. Right, that's gone together now, but this one doesn't reach up. Right, once we've got it lined up, it's not lining up, is it? There we go. This, as I say, I knew this would be the problem because we haven't got all the clips. So it came out again. You'll have to excuse me. I'm trying to do this as delicately as possible. And at the same time try and get a video done on it. What I might have to do, but I don't want to, is stop the video and be able to reach around the camera and do it manually. That looks better. There we go. That's gone. And now here comes these great big red clips. Slot this over and indeed hold it together. Now at the back, you can see this is, oh, it's come apart, but you would also now be putting the other clips on. And as luck would have us, just for this video, I said there was a spare one from the original one. This would slot over there, and then you would also have a small one slot on there. But I think you've got the gist of how that goes. I'm going to try and do the other one a bit quicker, just because, again, I know that you probably don't want to see all of this, but again, same principle. Separate these here and line these up. So this is going that way, follows the contours of the tracks. Clip it in, clip that over there, clip your boot in like so. And then, to be honest, I am, for quickness of the video, I'm going to quickly just off camera attach that part. So absolutely, completely ironically, it just went in straight away, which again, I suppose you've got to expect it would. And I also quickly corrected this as well. So you can see now that they do hold together just with the front clip. So what I mean by that is if I carefully spin him round, if you see what he should have on the back of the original Omega Supreme, we've got like a single clip at the top coming up towards the back of, I suppose, the thighs. Then we've got, no, the back of the thighs, the back of the hamstring, sorry. Then we've got on the bottom of the back of the calves, we've got the doubles, but you can get away. It will hold itself in robot mode with just some front clips. And of course, if you didn't have the front ones, as long as you got one, you could slot this over some of the front ones as well. So that's the main thing. And as I say, I just quickly corrected this as well. Right, now we're just going to, if we can, we're going to attach this over the back. Now what we've also got to do here in a second is if we lift this up or push this down, that's it, that's going to lift this up, and then we can attach if we want these. However, we want to have a look in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and attach this. So this is going to come over the top. That's where you're going to put the gun part. So be nice and careful that you don't catch that. Lift this up, push this up and over. You need to cover everything because you've got this whole part of the tank, there we go, which is lifted over, and it should slot. So it's gone on the one side, there we go. Proper thought I was going to break that then. Now we can open this up at the back like so, and I'm probably, in honesty, just for the video, for the basic comparisons, going to do exactly the same. So I'm just going to put these there, but it was really interesting to see in the instruction book the different ways that they obviously show you that you can do this. So these are obviously just fitting via the two holes. There's, as I say, loads of different combinations in which of course you can do this now. So here's the other one. Let's open this back up, and then of course all we've got to do in a second is put his hands on, click that into position, spin this round, and here is the rocket. Let's pop, let's go the same. We've got to go claw on this hand, so there's a little tab all the way down there which is going to line up on the front of this forearm, and it will click into position like so. And the same principle on this one, there's a little tab right down there, so slot this down, and there we have him. Right, we're going to do a load of comparisons in a second, but what I want to do, I'm going to try the batteries with this guy. If it doesn't work, I promise you I'm going to show you at least one of them working anyway. So we're going to come back now and have a look at that. Okay then guys, I've just popped the batteries in, and then unbelievably some of the electronics work but not all of them. Unfortunately, the motors that make him walk aren't working, and I suppose it's because I didn't really notice, but if you have a look sort of in that gap there, the button is completely, I suppose, pressed out of the way. So what I'm going to do, bear with me a second, is try and just quickly turn it back on for you, just so you can see what I mean. Right, and now typically it looks like it isn't going to work at all. Oh, you're joking me. It did, it worked. Oh, there we go. It's trying to walk, but it's not, unfortunately. But that's what you can see with the lights on. Okay, so you probably didn't hear that. It isn't walking, but that's the lights on. So bear with me. I'm going to get one of them walking for you so you can see that. Okay then, so we're back. I've got the batteries in Gadep, which is the e-hobby version of him, or Guardian as you're probably more likely to know him by now. And you're going to have to excuse the noise. These are not quiet at all, but here we go. There we go. That is how they walk. So there we go. I think that's enough of them. And for the final time, let me just put these back. In fact, I can carry on. Let's just put these back into position and then give you an idea of how big these figures are. So if you collect G1, there is a G1 Optimus Prime. And indeed, here is a G1 Bumblebee. So they scale pretty good with that. They obviously scale a little bit better with some of the third-party figures because they're a bit smaller. We've got a New Age there. We've got a Magic Square there. If you collect newer figures, that is, of course, Deluxe Strong Arm. I'm just seeing what else I've got dotted about. I've got another Bumblebee there. I suppose newer figures, core class, would work. But if I'm being completely honest, it's all about either if you're lucky enough to have found some Takara World's Smallest Transformers, or if you can't find them, then it's probably Doctor Wu figures, because as you can see that they will scale much better with these teeny tiny ones. But to be honest, I'm really quite pleased that A, it's intact enough to build him up. I'm really surprised as well. I learned about all the other different combinations via the instructions. And I suppose that's pretty much it. I hope you found it interesting. Shame it wasn't walking, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting him to at all. It was a great price. Those of you didn't remember, I got him for £40 at TF Nation, which is an insane price for him. So I might just hunt down the clips, but for the moment, as you can see, we can get away with it. We don't have to. So there you go, guys. This is got Omegatron, which is, of course, from the Grandstand converters. That's Generation 1 Omega Supreme. And that is eHobby Guardian Select Gadep, if you want to see the other videos as well. Let me know what you think in the comments, which I suppose colour scheme you prefer. And, of course, take care.